In this episode of the Red and Gold Report, we're going to be diving into the recent drama between Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy and former running back LeSean McCoy, and we're going to be catching up on all our most recent Chiefs news. So, first up, unfortunately, we got to start our news with the continued drama around Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. And I really do mean unfortunately, because at this point, the news around Bieniemy is starting to feel like an episode of your grandma's soap operas to me. And to stick with the TV metaphor, well, Shady McCoy seems like a character on a reality TV show they just kind of throw into the group to cause as many problems as possible. So recently, former All-Pro NFL running back LeSean McCoy had some not very nice things to say about Coach Bieniemy. McCoy played 1 year with the Chiefs in 2019, getting 9 starts, but his career was on its last warm embers by that point. And, well, you know what? I'm going to have you listen to it. Here's what he said.
It's the reason why every year they keep hyping him up to get a coaching job, a head coach or offense coordinator job for somewhere else. And then when the time comes, nobody hires him because they know what type of coach he really is.
Okay, so what's the deal? I mean, what's going on? How do you interpret these words out of Shady McCoy? Well, there's basically going to be two camps on how to interpret this, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're in the first camp, you're going to take Coach Bieniemy's side. If that's you, you're probably going to note that in an interview in 2020, the year after Shady McCoy was with the Chiefs, McCoy clearly stated that he thought Bieniemy was one of the best coaches in the league and should get an NFL head coach job. But now with, a few years to kind of ruminate, fixate on all the end of his career stuff, and the fact that he only played 1 snap that year in the playoffs for the Chiefs and was inactive during the Super Bowl, which he was not happy about, well, he became bitter over this time, and he's angry. That's certainly the stance that Andy Reid took in his recent press conference when he pointed out that at that point in his career, Shady McCoy, well, his performance level wasn't what it used to be. Of course it wasn't. And well, it was too hard for McCoy to take Bieniemy's hard coaching. So basically, McCoy is just bitter and making stuff up as he emotionally struggles to go from an all-pro player to a has-been to a now retired former player. Also, to present a different wrinkle that I was thinking about. According to my brief investigation online, it does appear that LeSean McCoy is trying to become a radio or TV personality right now. And if you were a really cynical person, you would think that McCoy was intentionally saying something very polarizing to get attention on himself, to further his career as a TV personality, a radio personality, and wasn't really trying to say anything true. He was just trying to get attention. And if you're also in this camp, you'd probably notice that a number of players have come to Bieniemy's defense, including Travis Kelce. So if you're in the first camp, you think LeSean McCoy is he's full of it. He's making stuff up. He's just bitter, angry, or he's just trying to forward a TV or radio personality career. But if you're in the second camp, you're going to think that LeSean McCoy's criticism of Eric Bieniemy is further proof that Bieniemy is a bad, hot head coach that players secretly don't like. You'll probably bring up the hit piece on him from just a few months ago early in the offseason that claimed that Bieniemy and MAHOMES have this secret beef behind the scenes and that Bieniemy can't get along with anyone. You'll also bring up the weird timeline of how the Chiefs seemingly delayed bringing Bieniemy back as the offensive coordinator before he ultimately did re-sign this offseason. You'll bring back up all the mess that was the AFC Championship and his bad decisions there. And then maybe you'll even bring up, I've already seen people bringing up online, that are in this camp that are trying to pile on Bieniemy, bringing up the string of legal issues that he had that were like 20 or 30 years ago, which that's unfair at this point, in my opinion. But if you're in this camp, McCoy's words are just further proof to you of why Bieniemy is interviewed every year for these head coaching jobs, but never gets one. And that is because, in your view, he's just too hard on players, too tough, makes too many bad decisions as a coordinator, is unlike behind the scenes. So those are the two camps on how to interpret McCoy's words. He's either making it up and it means nothing, or it's further proof why Bieniemy hasn't got a head coaching job. Okay, so you got to tell me which camp you're in and why in the comments below. Do you think that McCoy is full of BS, or do you think it really is further proof against Bieniemy? Here's my take. I I am shading more towards Bieniemy's side here. I think this is mostly being made up by McCoy. It kind of seems like an old, bitter, angry player kind of taking it out or trying to make a name for himself. So I shade towards that. But just a couple thoughts I have. First, I don't like McCoy's approach here. If you have a problem with another man, be a man and talk to him. Don't air out your dirty laundry in public. You look like an immature baby who can't handle your own feelings. Grow up. But second, you can't help but to see that whether it's based on facts or not, Bieniemy is becoming an increasingly polarizing character around the NFL. He might think these criticisms are unfair, but if he's hoping to get a head coaching job, he needs to probably take this season to kind of take the edge off a bit and avoid some of the costly mistakes and big moments that have popped up at times with him. I'm an old school kind of guy, and I like hard-nosed coaching, but the league just isn't headed that direction right now. So hopefully for Eric, some of this bad press could cool down over this next year, enough for him to find a head coaching job next offseason. But hey, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to the Red and Gold Report channel on YouTube right now so you can get all of these Chiefs updates. Okay, so with all that soap opera drama out of the way, let's move on, because if we don't, we're going to just start feeling like a pack of middle school girls. In other Kansas City Chiefs news, quarterback Patrick Mahomes and his wife Brittany have announced that they are expecting their second child, so congrats to them. In other news, 7 of the 10 Chiefs drafted rookies are signed. However, that still means that the Chiefs have 3 drafted rookies who have not yet signed their rookie contracts. That's second round wide receiver Sky Moore, third round linebacker Leo Chanel, and fourth round cornerback Joshua Williams. Now, all 3 of these guys are still in the building. It's all going fine, and it seems like being signed is just a formality at this point. But here's what these players don't get. There's nothing to be gained by not signing your rookie contract as early as possible anymore. With the new CBA, your contract amount is slotted in, and you're locked into that 4-year deal automatically. So you have nothing to gain by not signing a deal early. But what if you get a wreck tomorrow, or you're injured in practice, or whatever? Why even take the chance of not having signed that contract? Just do it. Just sign. In other news, here's my weekly reminder that the Chiefs are still in serious need of another starting caliber defensive lineman. I think the free agent list of guys who could step in and even hope to start is getting whittled down quickly. It's basically just like maybe Akeem Hicks, Trey Flowers, Justin Houston, Carlos Dunlap at this point. And since I've already talked about a few of those, let's talk about Dunlap for a second. I haven't talked about Carlos Dunlap on the channel yet. The former Seahawk and Bengal actually had 8.5 sacks last season, which is far better than any edge player with the Chiefs last season, and he'd come really cheap, I think, at this point. So why not? I mean, you got to sign somebody on the defensive line at this point. Why not Dunlap? Why not one of these other guys? In other news, the Chiefs recently made a post about kicker Harrison Butker, wanting everyone to know that Butker has the most points in NFL history through a player's first 5 seasons, if you include playoffs. And I just wanted to see what you guys think. Harrison has had some excellent seasons. However, I also know that there are factions in Chiefs Kingdom that have kind of turned on him somewhat based on inconsistencies and problems with extra points. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think of Butker in the comments below. In other news, a recent article on Bleacher Report predicted one surprise rookie gem for every NFL team. For the Chiefs, they selected 3rd round linebacker Leo Chanel, which I actually think I agree with that. I think he's a good pick for a secret gem. I think he'll be our 3rd best linebacker from day one, and will add a surprising amount of skill as an edge rusher. I also like Kennard, obviously, but let me know what you think the surprise rookie gem will be for our Chiefs in the comments below. In other news, the Chiefs are entering week 2 of OTAs. Sky Moore has been held back with a hamstring issue. Mecole Hardman is also out with a hamstring issue, but hopefully we'll see both of those guys back soon. But what do you think? What do you think? What's your take on Eric Bieniemy drama? Do you think that these 3 draft picks not having signed yet, do you think that matters at all? Or do you think it's just a formality? What do you think of Harrison Butker, our kicker? And who do you think is going to be our surprise rookie performer? Leave all your thoughts for me in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell and the like button on this video. Thanks for watching, and go Chiefs!